Hello and welcome to our local to global series on the Random Wrestling Review. We are, of course, the Random Wrestling Review promotion in this series, and I think we've now done over 30 episodes. We last did Total Chaos, which was not a bad show at all. In fact, we had to finish up pretty sharply at the end after that show, and I thought it'd be a good time to look at the top 100s. In sort of reflection, because Total Chaos was the second best show we've ever had. Now, that is, I think, a combination of the fact that our wrestlers are a little bit more popular, a little bit more over than they were in the past, and the fact that we've got Pat Patterson in as our road agent. We got him in a few episodes ago, and I think already we're seeing that in our events that's making a difference. The Jeff Hardy CW Anderson match at Total Chaos was the best match we've had, or second best match we've had so far of all time, and a great way to start 1999 in game. Meanwhile, we had new tag team champions. Keith and Bruce Hart have taken the belt off of Bad Crew, and their continued, success in the ring with victories goes on, with Bruce Hart obviously being the owner of the company. He is, through inadvertently, not through any kind of deliberate narrative direction, but he is booking himself to win loads and loads of matches. I, of course, am playing as Bruce Hart in the game. We have some morale issues here. Charlie Haas now just minor morale issues, and that is irritation at his recent booking. He has lost more than he's won, and we'll look at that in just a moment when we look at the rankings. The same. Oh, annoyed at a botched turn. So that's what Kid Chaos was, annoyed at his botched turn. That's a year ago now, so that should be running out pretty soon, I would think. One Man Gang has big morale issues, and that's because he did not want to lose the match against Buddy Wayne in the last show. But in fairness, it doesn't matter because he's leaving us, as you can see from his contract, in 6 days' time. So that's the end of the One Man Gang era in this company. And Chemo has morale issues. I'm wondering if this relates back to. Oh, he's annoyed at his poor new gimmick from the start of this year. He was annoyed at being fired back in April, nearly 2 years ago. Hopefully that will expire soon and allow us to prevent him from being continually annoyed going forward. And so we go to the end of another month, and I've already got kind of a lot in place and a lot planned for Fighting Spirit 2. We've already set up the main event. Dave Batista will take on Barry Buchanan. Batista obviously will be celebrating 1 year as RWR Northwest champion on that night, and Barry Buchanan is hoping to take the belt away from him. We've also decided that the tag team champions, the new tag team champions, the Hart Brothers, will defend against the former champions, Bad Crew. The thinking being that Bad Crew were obviously lost those belts in a 4-way match, which is a little bit irregular. Maybe the belief being that they didn't have a chance to properly defend those titles. So the Hart Brothers have been given the chance to face them. The truth is that Bad Crew, I believe, not too long ago, defeated the Hart Brothers in a title defense whilst they were champions. So that's the kind of thinking behind them getting the first shot at the Hart Brothers as tag team champions. We're going to see Ace Steel take on Kid Chaos. Jeff Hardy will be facing The Shadow, who of course is James Storm under a mask. We're also going to see Sean Stasiak and Buddy Wayne take on C.W. Anderson and Charlie Haas, as C.W. Anderson and Charlie Haas try to figure out how they're going to do things as a tag team, because they are a tag team ultimately and haven't had much success since becoming a team, and they'll be hoping for better against Stasiak and Buddy Wayne. And of course, Anderson said to Charlie Haas during the last show, we need to start doing things his way, which is to say in a more, in a cheating way, basically. And also, we're going to have a singles match where Chemo is going to face somebody that we have yet to sign. That person, I'm not entirely sure who it's going to be, but I don't think it'll take me long to find out when I look through who's available, simply because I want this person to come in, do a job to Chemo, and that to be it for him. So that's all that will be, is a jobber match, basically. So I'm just looking for somebody who can come in for a one shot and face Chemo in that one. And that's all the stuff I've got planned for the February show. The only thing I will say before we go into the what's to come next is obviously give us a subscribe and give us a like if you've enjoyed what we're doing in this series. And I can tell you that I have been continually enjoying doing it myself. Let's just have a look at a few things that are going on in the game world. WCW Clash of the Champions. Ric Flair defeated Hulk Hogan to retain the WCW World Heavyweight title. I feel like this is the match that Hogan earned by winning World War III at the end of 1998, but Ric Flair has defeated him for that title. Funnily enough, Flair and Hogan in early '99 in real life did have a feud, so this is reasonably similar to what actually happened. Savage versus Sting was only an 81 rated match though, despite the quality there. But Lex Luger and Arn Anderson defeating British Bulldog and Brian Pillman was a 92. Eddie Guerrero defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. in a 99. This is a great show. I mean, two 99 rated matches, a 92 rated match. I mean, yeah, 50,000 sellout, massive. I mean, this is wrestling. This is a wrestling world to die for in some ways, given those ratings anyway. There was also a Jeff Jarrett Championship win at WWC War Drums 4. So you can see this is why WWC are becoming a bit of a player in this game world. Jeff Jarrett defeated Billy Gunn for the WWC Universal Heavyweight title in an 82 rated match. That's how good those two are considered to be in game. Buddy Landel defeated Sean Morley to retain the Puerto Rico Heavyweight title in a 68 rated match. So WWC, we're seeing why, this was a pay-per-view as well. 972,000 buys. I mean, they must be doing really, really well. And this was in Puerto Rico. I wonder if most of their shows are in fact still in Puerto Rico, despite the fact that they have clearly been kind of expanding and increasing their popularity. In fact, if you look at their size, you've got 66 66s across the board almost, with the exception of one or two areas. They are really quite a big company at the moment, WWC. And I just wanted to see if most of their shows were happening in Puerto Rico still. They are still happening in Puerto Rico. And I don't think, have they been outside of Puerto Rico? No. So they basically run all their shows in Puerto Rico, but they've got TV deals everywhere, which is why their popularity is going up all over the game world. So we already know that Fighting Spirit is in the Fighting Spirit 2 is in the books, is ready to go. We need then to bring in somebody. I'm just going to check any role, USA, to hire, active wrestler. That's all we need, really. I'm going to look at that news story in a minute as well. I don't know what that is going to be. In fact, let's look at it now before we hire anyone. So I mean, what can I say? This just keeps happening. So Jeff Hardy's come in, WWC offer him a contract, and then he signed it. And it's an exclusive written deal, and Jeff Hardy will be leaving us. I'm assuming is the upshot of all that. Yes, indeed. 25 days, Jeff Hardy will go. So that changes a little bit what I was going to do. Well, I'm not sure if it does change a little bit with what I was going to do in the match that he was going to be in with the Shadow, but it just definitely changes my kind of feelings about bringing him in and thinking this will be a really good addition to the company. He is also going. We need a replacement for him. We're going to need a replacement for One Man Gang that I still haven't settled on. In fact, that's why I'm bringing in this babyface jobber to do this one job, because I don't really I haven't yet settled on who that will be. Maybe we just bring in Dwayne Gale for this one shot. I mean, he's an occasional wrestler. Yeah, I mean, I can't deny this is getting a little bit frustrating. One Man Gang we brought in, he was with us for sort of 3 months, got signed. Jeff Hardy we brought in, he's been with us for a couple of months, got signed. I think we had something very similar with Dwayne Johnson in 1998. Like we are finding this is becoming a problem, us not being able to offer the kind of money and deals that the bigger companies are able to offer. Let's have a look at Lash LaRue, not someone I'm particularly. We're going to go with him for a one appearance. That's fine. Yes. So Lash LaRue will come in, and he will be the one who faces Chemo. And yeah, the game world is pushing me about a little bit. I mean, look, this is part of the fun of this game, is the fact that it's hard. It's hard to navigate the rest of the game world whilst other people are signing up good talent that you've identified and brought in, and then they go. Before I go any further, I just want to check what day Fighting Spirit is booked for. Friday is fine. Yes, I think we're okay with that. So let's do it. Let's move forward, advance to our next show. But yeah, I mean, frustration again. We're going to be losing Jeff Hardy for the next. Uh, you know, this is his last show for us. We don't need to give him a kind of goodbye or an explanation of his exit. I think we'll just have the Shadow beat him as sort of another victory for him and go from there. I mean, I've got to be honest, I hadn't fully been certain of what I was going to do with the Jeff Hardy Shadow match. Actually, I had considered whether we put them in a feud with one another. I had considered whether Jeff Hardy gets victory over the Shadow and gives the Shadow his first loss. I had considered the Shadow winning, but in a underhanded way. Jeff Hardy going in a way makes the decision about what to do easier, but it doesn't make booking or booking for the future very easy because I've literally got no idea who we're going to bring in instead of him. I'm thinking Billy Kidman is going to be the next port of call for me with that respect because he's really cheap and he's out there and nobody else has signed him yet. But I don't know yet. I'm sort of gonna have to, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep thinking it through. I mean, I think the problem is of course that when we sign somebody and then give them some exposure and they outperform pretty much the rest of the roster, it then becomes clear to other companies that they're good, and therefore that it's almost like I've exposed them as a good wrestler, and now the rest of the companies want him. We've got more. Oh, here we go. BCW offered a contract to Stasiak. ECW offered a contract to James Storm. I imagine that these are going to be handshake deals, which is okay. So that's a good. That's not a problem. We're not going to lose these guys. Not yet anyway. What was I going to do? Yeah, negotiate view rival offer. So yeah, both of those deals are not exclusive in any way, which I didn't think they would be, but I thought it pertinent to check at this point. And we go into our next show, which of course is Fighting Spirit 2, the sort of annual tradition now. We were always kind of looking at this as being a showpiece kind of event for us, and I guess that's what we're gonna get. So first of all, then I think we're going to start with the Shadow versus Jeff Hardy. I think it's very possible, not very possible, but it is possible that some people in 1999 were on the internet, subscribed to the Observer or the PW Torch or Paraslam in the UK, and might be aware that Jeff Hardy was going to sign for WWC. I doubt it because, why would anyone report on such a small company? But you never know. So we're putting this out first. We're going to have it 10 minutes. We're going to have it work the crowd. We're going to have the Shadow be the victor. I think I'm just going to give him a pinfall finish. I mean, why do anything else? Jeff Hardy's extremely unhappy. I don't care. Right, you're going. Why would I care that you're unhappy? So the Shadow will face Jeff Hardy in the opening match. Then we're going to have the tag team contest, I think, which sees Sean Stasiak and Buddy Wayne against C.W. Anderson and Charlie Haas. Buddy Wayne versus Stasiak and Buddy Wayne against Red Alerts. Of course, that was their name. 12 minutes, this one. And I think what's going to happen here is that I don't really care who wins. Let's have Stasiak win. And it's going to be C.W. Anderson, the loser. But he's going to lose by DQ finish. That's how it's going to go here. And the sort of story of this match, well, I'll tell you what the story of this match is going to be, because after the contest, Charlie Haas and C.W. Anderson, and I'm going to script them this time because Charlie Haas has struggled with being unscripted. But basically, after the match, Charlie Haas tells Anderson that doing things his way didn't work out too well. So they're continuing to struggle as a tag team, and in this case, they're doing things C.W. Anderson's way. They're taking shortcuts. They're using sort of underhanded tactics, But in the midst of doing that, Anderson gets disqualified, and then that effectively leads to them losing. And Charlie Haas telling Anderson, look, we tried to do things your way, and it didn't work. So next we're going to have the jobber match. It's Chemo versus Lash LaRue. This one's going to be a short match. I think 5 minutes will do it. And it's going to be a win for Chemo. Not really worried about anything with that one. I just wanted an extra match to give us a little bit more time on the show. So then the next match will be Ace Steel against Kid Chaos. And Kid Chaos is going to continue to lose. I think we'll have this one go 8 minutes. Ace Steel's going to win. We'll give him a tainted win. A pinfall finish. And we'll do this one as a storytelling, I think. We need one on each show, so why not? We've got 2 more matches, and they are the 2 title matches. So the first of those is going to be for the tag team titles. Bruce and Keith Hart will face Dog and Rose in a chance for Dog and Rose to win back their tag team titles. Now, obviously, the tag team ranks don't work the same way as the singles ranks. This is more about a judgment about who the number 1 contender should be, rather than any statistical basis for that to be determined. And these 2 teams are not great when it comes to stamina, so I'm going to do a 9-minute match. We're going to have Bruce Hart win this one. Don't care who he beats. Make it an open match and a pinfall finish. No, we don't want to do that. We do want those titles on the line. And I didn't get any warnings, which is great. After the match, though, the Samoan Violence Connection are going to come out and attack Keith and Bruce Hart. And this story obviously has been going for some time between those 2 teams, and it's continuing to sizzle. And the Samoan Violence Connection will attack the Hart brothers and put them down after this match, and basically indicate that they want a title shot. Dave Bautista will face Barry Buchanan in the main event. This is for the RWR Northwest title, and we're not going to be changing the title. Bautista is going to hold on to the belt for yet another title defense. Bit of a better match, though, than we've had. What am I saying? A bit of a still a close contest between the 2, but only 11 minutes. If I might. Well, let's have a look. Is this fine? It lives up to the length I need to make the show. I've realised that our crowd, and you'll have seen over from the booking I've done over the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, that clearly our fans don't want long matches. So I'm happy with that. I can make it 11 minutes, and that's not a problem at all. And that is the full show. I don't think there's anything else I actually wanted to do on this one. So what we're going to do before we bring you the show, let's just have a look at the rankings. So you can see Batista has 21 matches, 15 wins, still the champion. Barry Buchanan is the number 1 contender because he has 8 points. We've got Keith and Bruce Hart both on 6 and Ace Steel on 5. But with Ace Steel's victory over Kid Chaos, that will go up to 6. Although Keith and Bruce will also be going up because they will win the tag team title match, which will price, and this is a weird way of saying it, but it'll price Ace Steel out of a title shot for now. CW Anderson will have 4 points. The Shadow will have 4 points at the end of this show. He's currently got 3. Ekmo's got 3. Charlie Haas has got 3. Buddy Wayne's got 3, but Buddy Wayne will also be going up to 4 as a consequence of this show. Jeff Hardy had 1 win in his debut, but he will obviously be leaving us. Kid Chaos has 1 point at the moment. Then you've got Chemo, Dog, Rose, and Sean Stasiak all on 0. Some of that will be changing as a consequence of this night. I don't know what I'm going to do next, really. I think we'll leave it at that. I was going to have some sort of post-match sort of something, but I've decided we don't need to do that today. So just check this. Yeah, Jeff Hardy's unhappy. The rest don't need commentary. All right, then. We are good to go. Let's start this show. And 80 people. Our attendances are dropping, and I'm not sure why. Because our popularity continues to go up, but our attendance is down to 80 at the moment. So I don't know. Maybe that's just a flux. Maybe there's something going on in the game world that I need to familiarize myself with. Anyway, the opening contest of this show is a superb match. The Shadow defeated Jeff Hardy in 10 minutes 10 seconds by pinfall. A segment rating of 43. I mean, it just shows you how much of a shame it is that we're losing Jeff Hardy, because he is really going to improve us, or he would improve us if we were to keep him. Shadow got an in-ring performance of 33 as well, though, so you can't argue with that. He's doing really well at the moment. Shadow gets the win. A great first segment. I cannot see the rest of the show living up to that, unfortunately. Next up, Shawn Stasiak and Buddy Wayne against Red Alert. Another decent rating, set 31 segment rating. Shawn Stasiak and Buddy Wayne win when C.W. Anderson's disqualified while fighting Shawn Stasiak. We'll just say that he kind of continually choked him or whatever, and the referee got fed up of it. Buddy Wayne was a 33, Shawn Stasiak a 36. He's still doing really well at the moment, Stasiak. Charlie Haas was a 25 and C.W. Anderson a 24. Anderson was off his game, and the Haas and Anderson as a team storyline has continued with this segment. Afterwards, Charlie Haas tells Anderson that doing things his way didn't work out very well after they got disqualified, and he says that if they're going to tag again, they're going to have to figure out how they make this work. So their story has continued, and actually much better rating this time than their last one, a 27 rated thing, and I think Haas clearly showing here that he needs to be scripted. Then we have Chemo versus Lashley in the really basic squash, and Chemo gets an in-ring performance of 40. He's obviously a pretty over guy in general because of the fact that he works for the WWF and gets seen on television by them a lot. And Lashley had a 19, segment rating of 23, so not particularly great, but that's fine. A good win for Chemo. And then we had Ace Steel versus Kid Chaos. Ace Steel defeated Kid Chaos in 8-16 by pinfall, using underhanded tactics. A segment rating here of 28. Ace Steel has an in-ring performance of 29. Kid Chaos of 17. Ace Steel gets another victory on his way to hoping to get a title shot in the future. And the Hart Brothers versus Bad Crew is the semi-main event. This one had good heat and decent wrestling. And Bruce Hart pins Rose in 8:54 to secure the Hart Brothers' first defense of the RWR Northwest title. As you can see, though, neither team are particularly good performers, and therefore this only got a segment rating of 27, which was better than any of the individual performances in the match. And then after the match, the Samoan Violence Connection come out to the ring and they attack the Hart Brothers. They beat them down and send them a message, and basically then sort of signal to the fans by running their hands across their waist that they want the tag team titles. The segment rating here of 29 as Chemo and ECMO attack Keith and Bruce Hart, and the continued story between these two teams goes on. And then it comes to the main event, a segment rating of 32, which is not bad at all. Dave Bautista defeats Barry Buchanan in 10 minutes 47 seconds by pinfall. Batista makes defense number 9 of the RWR Northwest title, so Batista really is going some as the champion. Batista had an in-ring performance of 29, Buchanan at 29 as well. Together, though, that became a 32. So that was pretty decent in terms of the overall rating, and a good finish to what was another decent show for us. An overall rating of 33. I think that's going to come second or third all time for us. Obviously, nothing quite as good as the opener between the Shadow and Jeff Hardy, but everything else was okay, and the main event was pretty decent as well. In terms of a speech, then, I mean, we have to once again compliment Shawn Stasiak. We're going to compliment the Shadow. And who else do I want to compliment here? I mean, Chemo, I guess. His performance was really, really something. And so that is Fighting Spirit 2. The February show is done. I think what I'm most interested in, we got a news story here. Lashley's gone. Fine, that's what was expected. WWF contract offer. Psycho Sid is set to stay with WWF. Okay, all good. Yeah, what I wanted to look at was our titles, in particular Dave Batista's title run, because he's been on top now for over a year. Or he will have been on top for over a year. He won the belt initially against Blitzkrieg at Fighting Spirit 1. He's then since defended against ECMO, Roddy Piper, Rocco Rockene Steele, Buddy Wayne, Kid Chaos, Sean Stasiak, Rose Dog, and Barry Buchanan. He's running out of opponents, to be honest. So maybe that's something for me to consider in terms of whether or not I want to keep him as champion. And the Hart brothers obviously retained their titles in that match. So we're going to move on to March, to the end of the current month. But like, there's a lot for me to consider now in terms of what I'm going to do in the next show. Not actually sure at all. Or I've kind of got in mind a main event that I want to do. But I'm not sure I'm going to talk about it yet because I don't know for definite that that's what we're going to do. I also need to replace One Man Gang. I need to replace Jeff Hardy. So there's a thing evolving here in my roster, which is that I've got a number of people on the roster now who've been around for a while. I'm thinking in particular somebody like Bad Crew, who I have been probably for a year now considering dumping from the roster. But I also I feel like I'm retaining them because I don't want the roster to churn over massively into a whole bunch of new people. What's this? What's happened here? Hemo has requested a pay rise. This is the first time this has come up in the game. He's currently being paid £400, $400 per appearance. He wants 580. I'll give him 75% of that, which he'll be mollified by, if not happy with. James Storm and Sean Stasiak have both been hired. Just going to check what that means for our availability because, so you can see here, ECWA run a show on a Friday. This is a problem. I'm going to have to be moving where I put the show around all the time. I mean, Sunday we'll do here, or a Monday for that matter, but not ideal that the Shadow signed for, or James Storm has signed for ECWA because it's another night of the week, which now becomes a little bit unavailable for me, which is not the best. Anyway, we continue to the end of the current month. So yeah, I'm in a bit of a strange position with the roster because we keep bringing people in to refresh the roster and create kind of loads of new possibilities. As I said, I was really interested in pursuing a one-man gang monster run where he kind of went through Buddy Wayne over the course of 3 or 4 matches and then took on Batista as champion. I thought that would be a really cool, main event title match type thing. No idea what the result of that match would have been. That obviously got scuppered because One Man Gang was signed away. Brought in Jeff Hardy. Thought this is an exciting wrestler that we can kind of create, and he's a great wrestler and all the rest of it. He goes within a month. We're in a bit of a strange position where I've got to consider who it is, what kind of hires we want to do, because it seemingly anybody who's actually decent is going to get signed away from me, or anyone who's actually really decent is going to get signed away from me. I mean, I say that One Man Gang's not really decent. He's just a former name from the 80s that I thought might be fun for us. So yeah, it's difficult to tell who it is that we could sign that won't move away from us. We got another news story here. I'm really struggling. So this is okay. Jeff Hardy leaving all those companies to go work for WWC, no problem. British Bulldog wows fans, and he added a brand new move to his arsenal last night, setting one of the best reactions of the evening at Super Bowl 9. Let's have a look at Super Bowl 9. Ric Flair defeated British Bulldog to retain the World Heavyweight title in a 95 rated match. Hogan and Sting against Ann Anderson and Lex Luger was only 81. Scott Hall defeated Hugh Morris. Again, this Eddie Guerrero versus Sabu was a 97 rated match. Show rating of 88, and you can see, the kind of numbers being done here, as I said, is a wrestling world to die for. It's all kind of it's all massive. It's all like everybody's really really successful. What I did want to look at is the game world just to see whether or not. So the wrestling industry and the economy are falling, and I think that's why we're seeing a reduction in our attendances at the moment. because as I said, our size is bigger than it's ever been. Indeed, we're now up to 3 in the southwest and 2 in both the mid-south and the midwest. But our attendances are falling, even though we are at 10 in our home region, which is as big as we've ever been. So, yeah, a little bit of a strange one, but that's clearly because of the game world. We're fine financially though, so we haven't got that to worry about. Lots and lots to think about as we go into March and into the spring. And hopefully you'll be with me in the next episode where we'll be talking about all of that. But for now, thanks for watching.